Shalom, shalom. Shalom to the brother Mashak. Shalom to Shoshana. Hopeful, Lord willing, I said your name correctly. Lord willing, y'all can hear me. I'm just waiting for the feedback. Oh, you can hear me loud. Shalom, shalom. Okay. We back. So before we start, man, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power, Yahweh, by Hashem Yahushai, by Hashem Rakakwadash. To those that's new to the channel, Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahweh Shai is who the world innately calls JC, which, they call Jesus. But his true name is Yahweh Shai. The Rakakwadash is the Holy Spirit. Double honors to my elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. A mighty shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit, Lord willing as a whole, that y'all can continue in sound doctrine. Shalom to the Akwad that are believers of this faith, which is the sisters. Lord willing, you continue to pursue your lot, being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. Lord willing, Yahweh Hashem Shai will have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. Right? Lord willing, we can get through this. Then I can go get some sleep. But this lesson came to me at work. The title, where I was inspired at work because I was listening to Pastor Gabar, and was it Pastor Gabar? Yeah, I think it was Pastor Gabar and the bishop, and they quoted Habakkuk 2:12, and I'm like, yo. And I started just thinking about all the shit that Esau did to us and the things that I'm seeing now. We're about to really see the madman be revealed. So now that I just said that, let's get this. Second Ezra, the 16th chapter. Lord willing, this is, edifying and not too long. This is Second Ezra chapter 16, going straight to the point. Also at 70. It says, "For then shall be great insurrection against the neighboring cities because of them that fear the Most High." All this is really going to take place because of the elect. Everything revolves around the elect and the true believers of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? You're going to have citizen civil war in the own country of the United States where people are not going to even care about the damn government, man. But of course, even in this time, Esau is trying to make a new system, right? Verse 71, "They shall be mad men, sparing none, to abduct and hide them that still fear the Most High." Who's going to be a madman? We see in the Maccabees, King Antiochus was an example of a madman. But they're going to abduct and hide those that fear the Lord, man. Yo, persecution is about to physically, happen to the church. What does church mean in the Hebrew? Right? It is a assembly of Israelites. Let's prove that. If anybody in here used the blue letter, if not, just go to the Google and type in blue letter Bible, go in there, type in church. I think I'm gonna use this verse, Matthew 16:18. "And I say also unto thee that thou art Peter, and upon this rock I will build my church, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against it." So let's see what it gives us in the interlinear or concordance. This is G15, verse 777. I mean
Strong's G1577. Ecclesia.
So ecclesia. And let me see. Okay. I'm going to read the first three. The third one is the important one. So this is the biblical usage for the word church. A gathering of citizens called out from their homes into some public place, an assembly. An assembly of the people conveyed at the public place of the council for the purpose of deliberating. The assembly of Israelites. So it's multiple examples of the church. But this right here hits. It's assembly of the Israelites. Okay? When you go down, they give another example, which kind of fulfills this moment we're in now. It says the whole body of Christians scattered throughout the earth. James 1 and 1, right? Greeting to the 12 tribes scattered abroad, right? When you go into Strong's definition, it says a calling out. St. Matthew, the 22nd chapter, verse 7 to 8, right? Go out to the highways, byways, and hedges and bid the people to the marriage. When you get the etymology for bid, you calling them by name or you calling them to a name. So even in the time, because when you go in the New Testament, you don't see no other nation called by name except for Jews, right? But then you don't see Paul and them explaining you're an Israelite like we do today, because in that same time frame, they understood that they were Israelites because the Spirit bear witness. Now we understand it's some that didn't agree or care. Is Jake all out here? They don't really care. You got some that might say, oh yeah, I'm an Israelite or I'm a Jew. We the true Jews, but they're not doing anything. Right? On this side, we were more in darkness. Nobody was raised up following the law and the testimony of Yahweh Shem Shai. Everybody was in a dead estate. It says a popular meeting, especially a religious congregation. It says Jewish synagogue, but I would say Jew synagogue because it's no such thing as Jewish, especially in the time of the Lord or even after. Or Christian community of members on earth, or saints in heaven, or both. Now, Christian means a follower of Hamashiach. When it says saints, only Israelites can be saints. Let me just prove that. We're going to get to Esau, but let's prove saints is only Israelites. The first one is Isaiah 50, verse 5. Gather my saints together unto me, those that have made a covenant with me by sacrifice. Who are the people that made a sacrifice with the Lord as a nation? Only Israelites. Then I'm going to get another one in Psalms, but I got to get this. Today, who's making a sacrifice to the Lord? Only Israelites truly is. Right? This is Romans chapter 12, verse 1. I beseech you, therefore, brethren. All nations cannot be brethren to Paul. Right? By the mercies of the Most High, that ye present your bodies a living sacrifice, wholly acceptable unto the Most High, which is your reasonable service. Right? So the true elect on this side, which would be the saints of Psalms 50 and 5, they're making a covenant through the Spirit with the Lord, right? Because the elect want that everlasting covenant because they believe in Yahweh Shai. Let's get one more. Psalms 148, verse 14. It says, he also exalted the horn of his people, which is Yahweh Shai, the praise of all his saints, those that made a sacrifice, even of the children of Israel, the people near unto him, praise ye Yahweh. So the Israelites is near unto Yahweh and near unto Yahweh Shai. How? For Yahweh Shai, because he stems from that nation. He's a Judite. The Heavenly Father, he has chosen the nation of Israel, which we see in Deuteronomy 7. He didn't choose us because we were more than the other nations, right? He handpicked it us. So let's go to the main event. I just had to get that. So they're going to be mad men, and they're not going to spare those that fear the Lord. This is something that you want to be like, dang. So every day maximize your faith, right? Every day try to work on being a better mother, right? Being a better father, how you lead, how you discipline, even be a better husband. How? By, yes, you're going to balance things out, but you're still going to uh, uh, direct your wife in a way that she need to be, right? Women on this side, if they become a wife, right, you want to lead her to pleasing you, right? So that she can follow that suit for all the days of her life. Okay, this is what he like. This is what he do. This is what he likes. Blah 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 blah. So then, if you'd never go off a track if you know the system of your husband. This is not about you. This is about Yahweh Ba'Shem El Shai and the men of the Lord, right? When you have a husband, that is a different road than having a wife, right? So while we doing these things, it's helping us grow more in faith. You're playing your role, let alone you thinking about the name of the Lord. You're praying to him in Hebrew, right? You might be learning more Hebrew, which I got to learn more Hebrew, right? And for us men, we getting into the doctrine, we teaching our family, or we teaching the people. You're going to be watched by those that's in the household. The people in the household is going to look at your endurance. Even other sheep are going to look at your endurance and reflect on certain things, because when famine of the word come, you better hope that you've been practicing what you've been learning, right? And when Jacob's trouble come, you're going to have the spirit, the mind to go without a phone, go without food for a couple of days, or go without your favorite food, right? What if you have to eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? What if you have to eat turkey, right? What if you on the move all the dang time, right? I'm not a water person all the dang time. What if, hey, you don't got those cold beverages and you got some warm water? We got to get ready to go out. Then Jacob's trouble, looking over your shoulder, even in the MOTV, it's going to be the same thing. So Habakkuk chapter 2, in verse 12, it says, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. And I titled this lesson, which I got a lot of, things written right here for multiple, for a couple other lessons. But I had wrote this down, and I got side lessons from the other ones I'm going to bring out. Esau's kingdom built on blood and iniquity. Or Esau's kingdom is built off blood and iniquity, right? Wickedness. That's what iniquity is, wickedness, right? So again, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. When we go into Revelations, the 18th chapter, which Babylon is called that great city, he built Babylon off of blood, sweat, and tears of, the natives and the black, Latino, and Hispanics, right? Let me get something in Revelations, the 11th chapter. This is Revelations chapter 11, verse 7. And when they shall have finished their testimony, the beast that ascended out of the bottomless pit, this is speaking about Europe. Europe is bottomless. It's an unbarren, or it don't produce minerals, and it's a pit. Pit is a land. 2 Ezra 5, verse 34, shall make war against them and shall overcome them and kill them. First, when the Europeans, right, of course, they was messing with the southern kingdom, but they traveled to this known land and messed with the northern kingdom. Then came back and went to go get the southern kingdom from the African mountains. They basically traded us from Ham, right? And what did they do? They made war with us, they overtook us, and they killed us, let alone they made us slaves. Their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. And we just read in Habakkuk, woe to him that buildeth a town with blood and establish a city by iniquity. Right? What they're doing to the children of Israel is already wickedness. Right? These is the rulers of the earth. Right? The Lord really made the earth for their sakes under Yahweh Shai, which spiritually is called Sodom, which they're going to push that LGB 123, because that's the spirit of freaking Rome was, even the Greeks. But it's even worse on this side. In Egypt, this is spiritual Egypt, which is going to have a bondage connected to it. Exodus 20 and 2. Where also our Lord was crucified, not physically, spiritually, his name. Where I had to say, for those that's new to the channel, Yahweh Shai is who the world innately calls Jesus. Jesus is not his name. Yes, it's in the scriptures. But when you go into the King James 6 and 11, it says Jesus. But that goes back into the Greek. Then you have the Latin. Then you have the ancient Hebrew, which would say Yahweh Shai. Right? These is mysteries, and it's connected to your history. If we're not called Hebrew Israelites in everybody's mouth, then everybody is saying Jesus when that's not his name. So that means now that goes back to us being in a dead state. We have no wisdom, knowledge, or understanding of anything that's fucking going on. That's what makes Esau strong, right? Judith, the 5th chapter, verse 17 all the way to 24. All nations knew if we commit sin, the Lord is not with us. And how would they know? Because our customs, how we move, was popular in the old world. All nations knew about us. Esau lived right next to us. Moab, the Ammonites, they all lived next to us. And anybody that conquered us knew that we had holy, holy feasts, days, right? When you look at the Persian Medes, Haman wanted to, hang Mordecai and the Jews because they said it's a malicious people dwelling within us and our laws are severe unto us. Why? Because we wasn't buying and selling, so they couldn't make money. Their economy was collapsing because of us. Esau stopped all that motion, but it was all by the power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Sorry, I just had to give you a rundown on history in different points. Verse 9. And they of the people in kindreds and tongues and nations shall see their dead bodies 3 days and a half, 350 years, dealing with America, and shall not suffer the dead bodies to be put in graves. Right? Graves, you go to sleep. Right? That's what a grave is meant for. You go to sleep. Your spirit go to the Father, but you sleep. On this side is going back to Limitations 5 and 5. Your neck is under persecution. You have no rest. Right? So they didn't suffer our bodies, to be put in the graves, to be put to rest. Right? We supposed to have rest. Right? When the Shabbat come, Esau don't care about your damn Shabbat. If he cared, you wouldn't even have to make a letter. They would know, of course they know the top elites, but these lower Edomites don't even know who you is, right? Because they're even taught a lie, right? Verse 10 is the last point I'm going to get to. And they that dwell upon the earth shall rejoice over them and make merry. And they're basically drinking, and shall send gifts one to another, because these two prophets tormented them that dwell on the earth. When we were connected to the Heavenly Father, we tormented all nations because we were aligned with Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai by the law and the testimonies, man. We believed. We were walking in this law. And we had the nations under subjection leading into Saul, but being fulfilled in David and Solomon. When you combine them together, Solomon and David, that's 80 years. We had the nation in subjection. The two prophets, when the kingdom split, right? When you go back into the history in the kings, but 2 Kings chapter 2, they became two kingdoms, the southern and the northern kingdom. Those are the two prophets, because Judah is the head of the southern, but really the head of the whole 12 tribes, but the head of the southern kingdom. And then Ephraim is the head of the northern kingdom, the two prophets. Okay? So, again, stay focused. The title, Esau's kingdom, is built on blood and iniquity. Now, I might not have all the time in the world to make a part 2, a part 3, a part 4, but we're going to try to dissect and get certain points. And Lord willing, you can sit there and think. It's not about going to work and saying, oh, I'm going to kill you. No, it's about you still being at, be at peace with all men. And through the Spirit, work on yourself. Because Esau is about to do something crafty. You think because your boss, oh man, I like you, man. When that day come, Esau is going to become him, right? If he is, because it is some Israelites that look like him. And some of us, you got to be ready. What if you lose your job, right? What if you have a religious, you're connected to the Lord, and say if another day of atonement come, and all hell is breaking loose, and we still working, and you like, I got to do it at day of atonement. They're like, look, we're under a new system. Everybody has one religion. So what is your religion? Because if you going off, I should be taking off. But that's not the customs of America now, because things is about to change, right? So when we look at Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, I'm just giving some details and some history. Habakkuk was prophesying against a proud, possessive nation that built its power on violence, slavery, and deceit, spiritually and prophetically. This directly applies to Esau, Edom, the nation ruling in these last days, but they stem from the Greek captivity and the Roman captivity all the way to the American captivity, right? You can read Babylon and Timbuktu. You can even read The Valley of Dry Bones by Rudolph Windsor, because he gets in detail too, because you'll know who's ruling America if you understand the old captivities. The Greeks and the Romans, they built certain things a certain way. And this is a way for this time now where Esau is telling on his own self by showing his fruits of his own mind by the things that he create, that he is the so-called Edomite. Esau was supposed to be blessed with the sword. Lord willing, we can get it. And even in Revelation 6, he has a great sword. What nation was the first people as nationality to drop a bomb? So, excuse my French. It was an Edomite. It was a so-called white man. He dropped the bomb. Now you got Russia, America, that got the most arsenal weapons in the earth. These are two Edomites, but in with different cultures, different backgrounds, but they're Edomites. Russia, right, which is another form of the North, if you was to look at it in another perspective, in another area. But America is the North country in prophecy, right? It's Edomites. Those was the first nations to have missiles, which a missile is another form of a sword or a weapon, right? So the nation ruling in these last days, America and the European powers, their empires were literally founded upon bloodshed, right? In sin, the slaughter of the Israelites, the native tribes, the enslavement of our people. And they didn't even just stop there. They scattered you four corners of the earth, because when you even know about Rome, the fourth beast, they didn't rule the whole earth. They ruled the known land back then. And I did lessons on this, and I showed multiple pictures on it. Right? Let me see if I can get this verse. I thought that's not it. Yeah, that's not it. I thought this was gonna be the one that I needed. So, like, y'all, I'm just looking for the precise scripture that I want. If I can't find it, I ain't gonna say wrong on this point. Okay, here we go. This is Daniel, the 7th chapter, verse 23. Thus he said, the fourth beast, which is speaking about Rome, shall be the fourth kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it into pieces. Now, I'm about to go to my handy dandy other cell phone, and I'm going to show you the known lands that Rome ruled, because this verse just said the fourth beast in Daniel's, when he was, interpreting and go more in depth to Nebuchadnezzar's dream, is Rome, ancient Rome. But ancient Rome did not rule the whole earth. It said the whole earth. So let's see if we can get this for you guys. Bear with me. Okay. Okay. I'm going to try to get the picture I always use. So if we were just to look at the red, if y'all can see this, all the red is the known land that Rome ruled. That Rome ruled. So this is not all the earth. The red is everywhere Rome ruled. That's not the whole earth. So that's another indicator to show, and let me see if I can back up to show you. When you go back to Daniel 7 and 8, it says, I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another another little horn. That's speaking about America. This doesn't happen until the rebirth of Rome, which we read in Revelations, the 11th chapter. Follow along. Before whom there were three of the first horns plucked up by the root. When all them damn Europeans came over here, you had people of Britain, France, the Spanish, and they was fighting over this land. Those so-called American Europeans, I want to say that they're the founders of this land, they fought three major wars for this land to have its independence in 1776, 4th of July, which is the Spanish War, the British War, the Britain War, and the French War. Okay, go look these things up. It's in history. What am I looking up again? Oh yeah, okay. So when we look at America, I don't know, I did lessons on this. This is another example to show you that America rules the earth. Because if after we get done with this video, go look up all high empires by himself. Look up Russia, look up China, look up Africa, look up Israel, all them places, and type in overseas military footprint. So whatever nation you use, it could be Russia, overseas military footprint. Technically, whoever has the most garrisons or military footprint, has military bases in all these countries, that's really the real ruler of the earth, right? So if you look at this, it says U.S. overseas military footprint. The red shows 742 military bases on the earth under America. Is over 179 countries, which is the green, and over 171,736 active military personnel deployed. All right. So when you look at the star, all these stars shows the footprint of America. Now, I don't know, my camera is not making it clear for you guys. If you can understand the little red dots, because my camera is acting up. So the little red dots that you see, if you can understand, just put a 1 in the chat. The red dots all over in all these other countries is military footprint. Military footprint. Military footprint. Do you get it? Do you see it? Do you see the red stars everywhere? Just put a 1 in the chat if you see it. All the red stars everywhere. All the red stars right there. Now I could zoom back and then you can, pinch it and widen it up and you can see it on your screen. This is the United States military footprint in multiple countries. Do you see it? Just put a 1 in it. Okay, never mind. Okay. I'm gonna be speaking my dang self. Okay. Going back to the image that I showed about Rome. About time, the water. About damn time. Felt like I was talking my damn self. So when you look at this one, again, this is ancient Rome. This is not the known land. Now, if this is Rome's empire, they supposed to be ruling where it's no red at. That would show what we just read in Daniel, what we read before, Daniel chapter 7, verse 23, where it says, shall be diverse from all kingdoms and shall devour the whole earth. Ancient Rome didn't devour the whole earth. America devoured the whole earth. Okay? So we've seen that with the military footprint, which makes examples, and let alone America push its laws and legislation, wherever they set their feet upon. So Is this one of my side precepts? Yes, it is. So we're going to the book of Genesis, the 27th chapter. Verse 39 to 40. It says, and Isaac his father answered and said unto him, behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. We just read in Daniel 7:23 that fourth beast was going to rule the whole earth. That wasn't ancient Rome. So that's another indicator America is Rome 2.0, because Daniel 7:23 is speaking about the fourth beast. When you read Daniel 7:8, that little horn stems from the fourth beast. Come on, man. Pay attention. Okay? So when it said it was going to rule the whole earth, we shown pictures, and anybody can screenshot what I showed. Rome did not rule the whole earth. They ruled the known land in the east, if we want to say, right? From Greece all the way to Asia Minor, all the way down a little bit to Egypt, right? They ruled the known land back then. America is ruling the earth. Then it said, this is what Isaac blessed Esau with, and thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth. This did not get fulfilled until the end, when Esau's last rule, because the Greek Empire had to happen, the Roman Empire, then Rome had to fall, the Ishmael and the Muslims after the Byzantine Empire, when Jake was ruling in the Dark Ages. Then eventually the Europeans rose up. Then it was the Renaissance. Then eventually the Northern Kingdom got messed up. Dawn Act went through war. Then they came through the spirit, right on the left-hand side, and came and got the Southern Kingdom, because we was doing wickedness, man. Right? The Southern Northern Kingdom was doing wickedness. Right? So now he has the fatness of the earth, four corners of the earth, in the dew of heaven from above. Right? Let alone he has this little devices where he can observe everything that we're doing, trying to be like God. And by thy sword shalt thou live, and shalt serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass, when thou shalt have the dominion, that thou shalt break his yoke from off his neck. Right? So even when we look at this this sword, I want to get something before I read this statement I want to bring out. So he's gonna live by the sword. A sword is a weapon, a knife, a blade, a gun, a bomb. Those are all swords. So let's get another indicator of Esau getting a sword. This is Revelation chapter 6 and verse 4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. We just seen that Daniel 7 devoured the whole earth, and what we just read in Genesis, he's gonna have the dew of the dews of the heaven. Well, right, he's gonna have the fatness of the earth, to take peace from the earth, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. So this horse is red. This is going all the way back to Genesis 25, dealing with Esau, right? Because sometimes the Lord is bringing forth allegories, parables, or metaphors. And these are secret code messages. So you have to understand who is identified straight boldly as being red. When we go to Genesis, the 25th chapter, I want to just go to the point so I don't lose y'all, because I know some of y'all, what did Eminem say? You're going to lose yourself in the moment. This is Genesis 25 verse 24. And when her days be delivered were fulfilled, behold, there were twins in her womb. They wasn't identical, right? Looking exactly alike. They wasn't identical. The first came out red, all over like a hairy garment, and they called his name Esau, right? So he was red when he came out, because you could see his blood through his pigment, through his skin. Plain and simple, which we can see Caucasians looking the same way, okay? So when we go back to Revelations 6 and 4, it said the horse that was red. Horse is another symbolic meaning, or a metaphor meaning for power. Don't you get a car that has horsepower? right? So that horse represents power. The red represents Esau, Edom. Let's get another one to identify Rome, right? So this is Revelations chapter 12, verse 1. There appeared a great wonder in heaven, a woman clothed with the sun and the moon under her feet, and upon her head a crown of 12 stars. Now I have a lesson, now which is really in the basics, to show that only Israel out of all nations was considered stars, right? But verse 2, and she being with child cried, travailing in birth and pain to be delivered, going back to Hamashiach Yahushai. And there appeared another wonder in heaven, and behold, a great red dragon. There go that red again. The dragon represents Edom, Rome. The red represents Edom, but that even lines with Rome, because Rome was ran by Edomites, Idumeans, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and 7 crowns upon their heads, right? And his tail drew the third part, because Herod was not a Roman, right? He was part of the Herodian dynasty. Okay. See? There's no way around it. I try to use my other phone, and then I use my other phone, and then it's crazy, man. Crazy. See? There's no way around it. I try to use my other phone, and then I use my other phone, and then it's crazy, man. So y'all can hear everything good, everything neutral. There's no way around it. I try to use my other phone, and then I use my other phone, and then it's crazy, man. So y'all can hear everything good, everything neutral. Okay, let's get back to it. Okay, I believe this is where I was at. Revelations, the 11th chapter. The 12th chapter. Showed the red. Goes back to Edom. The dragon represents Rome. Verse 4, and his tail drew the third part. That's speaking about Herod, because he was the tail. He was the head of the southern kingdom, because he was the king of Judea. The third part of the stars of heaven. So it's a third of the 12 stars that we read in verse 1. Revelations 12 and 1. He said, upon her head a crown of 12 stars. That represents the 12 tribes. Verse 4, his tail drew the third part of the stars of heaven. The third part of the stars is Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. The same time that points in the time of Yahushai, right? And the dragon stood before the woman, which was ready to be delivered, for to devour her child as soon as it be born, right? So this going into to Rome, right? And what did Herod do? He was afflicting, they say, so-called more Judah got more afflicted. He did the same thing that Pharaoh did back in the day when we was in the Egyptian captivity. Okay, just showed another indicator of Esau in the verses, right? And I just got to get a classic in Ecclesiastes, I believe the 14th chapter. Sorry about the phone, it just got hot, man. And my car is cool. Like I don't know why it does that. I don't know why, man. And I know me, sometimes I get mad and I'll be like, you know what, I ain't about to do this video. And I'll cancel it, but I had these moments before. Cool down the phone. Maybe got to do the lesson while the AC on. This is Ecclesiastes chapter 4. In verse 16, it says, there is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. Right? So the nations there's no done away of the nations. Right? The 18 nations that's in the book of Genesis, the 10th chapter, right? From the loins of Japheth, Ham, and Shem, right? Those descendants is back on the earth, just recycled again and again. And of course, when the Europeans got in power, names got switched all around and people went to here, living here. And it says, even of all that have been before them, they all, they also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of the spirit. So going back to Genesis 27, verse 39 and 40, and by the sword shalt thou live. We already seen that he got a great sword. Let me just get another one in Isaiah. So what is the great sword that Esau is using on this side? He's not going to ever be done away, and then he's not using that sword. No, Esau got a little better. This is Isaiah 54, verse 16. And behold, I created the smith that bloweth the coals in the fire, right? That'd be a blacksmith. But in modern age, that is the scientist or the engineer, biological engineers, which really stems from teaming, right? You can go look up the Project Paperclip, look up a lot of those videos, which Russia and America, right, divided engineers, right, that can make, which we're about to read, and that bringeth forth an instrument. So these smiths are about to bring, these smiths, these engineers, these scientists, right, bringeth forth an instrument for his work. So on the left-hand side, these Edomites is working for Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and they're doing his work on the left-hand side, which is later going to turn on them and destroy his own kingdom and himself and the 2/3. It says that I have created the waster to destroy. So through Esau, his scientists, right, his biological chemists, right, they're making these missiles, but the Lord is working through them because the Lord had made this waster, right? Isaiah's praying, other prophets too. So from the beginning, Esau's blessing was to live by violence. His history proves this. Rome, Spain, Britain, America all shed blood to gain power. Didn't America drop big boy and little boy without no hesitation and had the nation stunned? They motivated other nations to make bombs. But back then, those was like regular bombs. We got nukes now. You got ICBM missiles that can go from continent to continent without flying high as heck over a land, right? They can be dropped from the sea or from land. In Russia, they missile could go 15,000 kilometers. Then they're probably all the way back, all the way around the world and back. But kilometers from Russia to America is only 5,000 and some change. It's about to get real out here. Okay, my phone's still cool. We good. We good. I should have did this before, but it's okay. Let's go to Psalms chapter 49 in verse 11. This is Psalms 49 verse 11. And their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever. Esau is a nation that think they're going to rule forever. Go ask Google AI, go ask ChatGPT, or go ask any AI. You could do research, but you'll be digging. So you can use AI, and it will go even further and get the information you need, like real quick. Like we could do it right here. We could do it right now. Right? Let's go to Google AI search. How long do empires last? How long do empires last? So, AI overview. Empires historically last about 250 years on average. Now, I'm just showing you that I searched it. You can go look it up yourself. But usually empires last about 250 years. Next year marks 250 years since America been up. Okay, next year. Okay? So they think that they're going to last forever. Damn near all kingdoms, all empires thought that. Then you got China right now thinking if America fall, that they're gonna rule up next. I'm up next. In their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names, right? America is named, I keep messing his name, I think America Epocanis. I always mess up his name, right? Even Africa. It's another joint I wanted to get. Okay, yeah. Because that made me think of Malachi. What did the Lord say? That Esau shall build and he was going to tear down. And Esau said, oh, I am Proverbs, but I shall build the desolate places. And he actually did that. Right? This is Malachi chapter 4. So like I'm getting a little excited. This is Malachi chapter 1, verse 4. Whereas Edom saith, we are impoverished, but we will return and build the desolate places. Thus saith Yahweh of hosts, they shall build, but I will throw down. They shall call them the border of wickedness, and the people against whom Yahweh have indignation forever. The Lord has righteous anger towards Edom. And they said they're going to build, but then the Lord prophesied through Malachi and even Obadiah that they're going to build, but the Lord is going to tear them down. Yahweh Shema Shai is going to tear them down. Right? So Esau believes his cities, his kingdoms will never fall, but the foundation is built on wickedness. Right? Iniquity. Let's get Numbers 35. This is the one I have written down in my notes too. This is Numbers chapter 35. Salaki. This is Numbers 35, verse 33. It says, so ye shall pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. Now, first, when you speak about Israel, when we speak about, the land or, the Yasharella, right? Esau shed our blood in that land, right? And let's go to the classic precept. But he even did it when we read Revelation 11 that they made war with him. Any place he went, he shed blood. But where the Israelites is, he's defiling the land. Right? I mean, with anybody, because, blood defiles the land. That's where the life is at. Right? But when we talk about our land, because when you go to Numbers 30, 35, from 29 to 34, this is speaking about blood defiles the land. What land? Talking about the land of Yasharella, right? The land of the Israelites. And even though that's our land, he even defiled America because this is where the northern kingdom was at. Then he brought the southern kingdom. Before all these other nations came, it was really the northern kingdom, right? Then the southern kingdom and Edomites, right? But of course, nations mixed in. What I wanted, so like I got excited. Oh yeah, let's go to Psalms. I think 133. 137. Let's get this. This is Psalms chapter 137 in verse 7. It says, remember, O Yahweh, the children of Israel in the day of Jerusalem. In the time when Babylon was about to siege Jerusalem, what was Edom doing? Who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. They wanted to see it be destroyed. Talking about the temple, the kingdom of Israel. Raise it, and destroy it. Let's see it fall. That was ancient Edom when Babylon was sieging the land. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. Now this is a future reference. When have ancient Babylon been called the daughter of Babylon? Even Rome was considered a Babylon. This is some Edomite. He had made he's an author of a book called Two Babylons, ancient Babylon and Rome being the second. But technically, if you look at Rome 2.0, it technically is Babylon. But even in the ancient world, Rome was symbolic, to ancient Rome, Assyria because of the military might, Egypt because of bondage captivity, the Greeks because of philosophy, right? And that's the same thing in America. Happy shall he be that rewardeth thee as thou hast served us, right? So in reverse, when the Lord remember what they done unto us, when that time come, we're gonna reward them as they rewarded us, right? Happy shall he be that taketh and dash thy little ones against thy stones. He was doing that, but let's get something even more crafty that this man did. When we go into the book of Limitations, right? Because Babylon was definitely the one that walked in, that was doing these things too. But even, Esau made a decree with the Babylonians. This is Limitations, the 5th chapter. Limitations chapter 5, verse 11. It says, so that 10, it says, our skin was black, dark, and that's like just, right? No shade, no covering. We get more dark, let alone if not washing, you just be more dark, because I got some history. I was dark, okay? Verse 11, it says, they ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the city of Judah. Ravish is another word of grape. If you know, you know, okay? So, when we looked at this, what did they do? This is the land of Israel. Again, they ravished the women in Zion and the maids in the cities of Judah, right? This is defiling the land, right? And some of these women probably could have been, had a husband, right? Or was a concubine to a man. So America and all of Esau's dominions are defiled lands. This is a fact. Because they took over these lands by massive bloodshed, right? And didn't show any cares, right? It says, Edomites over here walking. Defiled lands, the blood of the Israelites cries out from the ground. From slavery, genocide, and every injustice they done. Then you got Donald Duck trying to remove certain history of slavery. You want to remove what you have done? This is another precept that's written down in my note. Revelations, the 18th chapter, in verse 24, dealing with the great city, which is Babylon the Great. Revelations chapter 18, verse 24, and it reads, and in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints and of all on the earth. So what was found in Babylon? The blood of prophets, the saints, those through the Spirit made sacrifices in the ancient world. And then Romans chapter 12, verse 1. Make a spiritual sacrifice, which is ourselves. What is it? First Peter's chapter 2, verse 5. We are a spiritual house. So this spiritual house is making sacrifices acceptable unto the Lord. So our blood is crying out. The prophets, the 144,000, which those that are living and those that are in the spirit world, of the saints, going and aligning with the men, women, and children, and of all that were slain upon the earth. Because it was women and it was children. Go read 2 Maccabees 7. Her sons and even the mother got unalive. Then when you go to 1 Maccabees, you even see women getting unalive, getting put to death because they had a son and he was circumcised. Oops, you gotta go, right? Our blood is crying out to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Now let me just prove again that this was speaking about Babylon. This is Revelations chapter 18, verse 1. And after these things, I saw another angel come down from heaven, having great power, and the earth was lightened with his glory. And he cried mightily with a strong voice, saying, Babylon the great is fallen, and is fallen, and is become the habitation of devils. Not speaking about devils that, the devils with horn. No, this is speaking about Komodo dragons, lizards, those that are going to be eating those remaining flesh that's after the fire burned down, right? And hold of every foul spirit in a cage of every unclean and hateful bird. For all nations have drunk the wine of her wrath and of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her. Right? The kings or the rulers of all these other empires, China, right? What did they do? They made shop, they made merchandise, they made trade with Babylon, knowing Babylon was the way it was. You know how many people come from different countries just to come here? Because America is not like any other country. Even though all these other places are resorts, America promotes money and wealth and freedom of speech and all this other stuff. Other places it's not the same. Yes, it's wealthy people, but you don't get it the same. Celebrities, all that other stuff, like it's way different. And I haven't lived there to know, but everything is different. America has the Roman traditions. Guess what? What do America known for? Olympics, throwing Olympics. That all goes back to the Greeks, and that goes back to the Roman captivity, right? Horse running, races, humans running, boxing, right? Like UFC, boxing, wrestling, gladiators. You got football. Then you got basketball gladiators where they're not hitting each other. Yes, they might foul, but now they shooting a ball. Everything is recycling itself. It just advanced, right? More appealing to the eyes. Okay? So this is Babylon, that great city. And all kingdoms of the earth have committed fornication with her, which is a spiritual sense, let alone some nations fell to that LGB, but a lot of them fell to the fornication of wickedness, right? That Luciferian side, or um, uh, the cream of the crop, like investing on freaking TV shows, things that America promotes, right? Da, 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 da. And the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies, right? The merchants are those that travel in the seas, right? Leaving from Russia, going to China. And it's crazy, all these people got beef with America, but they make trade off of them. That's how you know the Lord is really in control, right? So Babylon the Great, which is America, is full of the blood of Yahweh's chosen. That's why destruction must come, nuclear fire and divine judgment. This is why everybody should be more shook, because, oh, everybody knows there's a charagma. It doesn't matter if everybody knows. Esau is going to promote it in a way that, like, if you don't have this, you can't buy and eat. Yes, a lot of you Jakes see it in scriptures. Some of y'all truly don't care. But you got some that's saying, oh, this is the mark. Oh, my goodness, this. Y'all saying it. But at the end of the day, the real test is those that see it and who been teaching it. Who been teaching it really? Because Christianity been out here for so long. Even when America got established, before America, they was not teaching this, and breaking it all the way down, going into the chosen, going into the elect. Only Hebrew Israelites was breaking that down, saying that the Israelites is Yahweh Ba'ashem Shai's true people. The Hebrew Israelites brought the true name of the Father and the Son. Y'all not going in depth with it. Y'all, the charagma. It doesn't matter if everybody know, but do you know the truth? Do you know the actual doctrine? What if all them people that know it's a charagma and say they don't take it, but if they don't know the truth, know the name of the Father, growing in faith, this and that, and know the actual prophets that's teaching this truth, it don't matter what you saying on this side. The Lord have given us a doctrine, given us faith, how we supposed to move and build our household, to build our communities. Okay? So, again, when we look at Habakkuk 2 and 12, another point in that verse, and establisheth a city by iniquity, establish a city by wickedness. Every law, policy, and institution in Esau's world is built upon sin, covetousness, pride, or idolatry, and lies. When you go into college, you have people that join the Alpha Maker, however you say it, the Alpha joint, and they stepping and stumping. That goes all the way back to Greek, right? That goes all back to that Luciferian Mason lounge, right? That's not of us, right? Let's go to Micah chapter 2, Lord willing, this not too much longer, right? We just want to bring these. This is Micah chapter 2, verse 1 and 2. It says, woe to them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. Right? Wait, hold on. What is that? Proverbs the 14th chapter or the 4th chapter? They get no rest until they have somebody fall in derision. Okay, here we go. Proverbs 4:16. For they sleep not except they have done mischief, and their sleep is taken away unless they cause some to fall. Right? So this wicked ruler, woe unto him, right, that devise iniquity and work evil upon their bed. They don't get no sleep. Right? They calling each other, hey, yo, man, go watch Trading Places. The director that made that is Aaron Russo. I did a video, and it's on my channel, and I did it on TikTok where they kind of gave me a strike for it, where Aaron Russo had a friendship with Nathaniel or Nathan Rothschild, and he said, Rothschild, which is recorded, that he wants to chip the whole world to have control, man. He said, why are you caring for these people? We want total control. We're going to try at a certain time to chip everybody, and they'll be able to watch all things. Right? Yeah, your president is not a ruler. He's a puppet that's in a position of rulership. But the real ruler is those that's not showing themselves, that are secret, making the plays. You can't get to them. The elites, you can't just shoot them in the air. Say, oh, I'm having an interview and I'm gonna get shot in the air. No, the elites run everything. Land, education, social media, they run everything, man. Right? So it says when the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hand. What they do in Trading Places, they made that bet when they seen Eddie Murphy and what's his name, and they said such and such and such. Then the next day, they gave havoc to the white dude that's off of Ghostbusters, and they blessed. They bailed out Eddie Murphy out of jail. But guess what? Eddie Murphy, just through the spirit, like Jake, you know, we always nosy. The Lord got us in his business. So now we nosy by watching Esau now, because the spirit fell on us and we know who the Edomites is. You think Esau came out and said, I'm an Edomite? No, the Lord made Esau dumb where he's telling on himself, showing who he is, how he's moving, because he controls everything. So he's leaving the doggy trail, okay? So they covet fields and take them by violence. When they came here, they covet the fields of the natives and took it, man. That's why they in the reservation, right? They're all out where they can get drunk, where the gas is cheap, right? Keeping them out the way, but they were supposed to have 2.3 billion acres of land. Canada, North America, and even Central America, right? They was all through these lands, right? They take them by violence, houses, take them away. So they oppress a man in his house, even a man in his heritage. Why do you think Esau tried to target a woman and make it easy for the woman? And then monoganism. Do you know monoganism? What, am I saying it right? Monogamy. Monogamy started to get pushed in the Roman captivity. Let's look that up. Right? Let me get that. Let me go back to that Micah. I might do a lesson on that. We gotta go back to that Micah real quick. Hold on. Right? We about to show y'all. And Lord willing, there's women out here that's about to hear this too. Right? I don't care how you feel. You about to hear this. Right? And it's history. Monogamy. So, okay. I forgot about Greece. So, when I searched it, I asked what nation pushed monogamy. I didn't try to say, hey, don't show the Israelites. Just showing you the sentence. What nation, so you can see that I'm not a liar. What nation pushed monogamy? It says ancient, and this you can go look this up in other places too. Ancient Greece and Rome were the first known societies to impose socially universal monogamy, which was the reference by Christianity, which Israelites was not pushing Christianity, making them the key forces that push monogamy in the Western world. The ancient Greeks through reforms like Solon's may have introduced monogamy to foster democracy, while the Romans embedded these norms into their legal system. Christianity adopted and strengthened these norms during the Middle Ages, making them a foundational part of Western culture. Right? Let me see. They're not even going into depth, man. Now, if you want me to, I can even go in chat GBT and go a little deeper, and we can say, what was the nation of Israel pushing? But I just asked the question, what nation was pushing monogamy? That was Greece and Rome. And it was Edomites ruling Greece right before Rome. That wasn't the real ancient Javans. Javans was the real Greeks. That's what they were called, Javans. Those were descendants of Japhet. Those were not Edomites. But the New Age Edomites before Rome were Edomites. They pushed monogamy, man. Going back to what we read in Malachi 2:1, it says, so they oppressed a man in his house, right? Not just dealing with a monogamy by trying to remove the man out of the house, especially in the Western hemisphere, right? But a lot of men, even in Rome and Greece, was persecuted, because guess what? You couldn't circumcise your son. Then you had men in the Greek captivity that was sewing their circumcised skin back on because they wanted to be a Greek. Even in Greece and Rome, they hold the tradition that a woman was beneath a man. Yes, a woman, when she had a certain man, she had high status over men. And if her father was well known, that gave her status. But a woman was still supposed to play a role of a woman. When you come to America, they tried to push it different because they had a strategy to weaken a man. Because part of a man's honor is the woman, because the Lord created a woman for man. That's why Esau studied you. That's Psalms 83. They did crafty counsel. They studied us, not just only our name, not only the laws that we keep, our customs. They even studied you as man and women, how you rule, and why the rules change over here in America. Come on, man. Even a man in his heritage. We don't got our land, right? They swipe that. If you say, man, I got a land, who cares? And you can't get that. You don't got no money. You don't got proof that that's your land. I got all your stuff. Prove that that's yours. We're finished over here. But because of Yahweh Shema Shah, we're going to take it. That's Daniel the 7th chapter, man. You know what? Let's get that. See, now I'm getting excited. Whoever on the other side, I think I'm getting excited now. Right? Uh-oh, battery about to die. I'm getting excited. Right? Let me get it. This is Daniel. This is Daniel chapter 7, starting at verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Right? But guess what? When he goes down, he goes back to the fourth beast. Right? But now when you drop down to 27, it says, the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, starting with Yahushai, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him, which is Yahushai. Yahweh by Shem Yahushai is going to be obeyed on the earth. And all the nations are going to have to obey the ways of the Lord and follow our customs. And if they don't, guess what? The Isaiah 14, Isaiah 14, I think starting at verse 16, is going to be full effect. Right? You're going to be put to death if you don't come to the high mountain to keep tabernacles, man. Right? So Esau's system was built by robbing nations, destroying families, from stealing lands, and breaking up Israelites' households. Okay? I'm going to bring out these last ones, and then we're going to close. Okay? Let's get Psalms, the 94th chapter. Lord willing, y'all getting edified, man. Lord willing, this is making you like, man, dang, man. Like, Lord willing, it's like, you know, it's marking up certain things in your mind. Right? This is Psalms chapter 94, verse 20. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which framed mischief by a law? So his governments and his rulerships are thrones of iniquity, legalizing sin and oppressing the righteous. We see that in Second Esdras, but they legalize sin. What verse is that reminding you of? Hey, it's okay if you don't remember. I'll get it for you. Right? Let's go to Isaiah the 5th chapter. Right? Legalizing sin would be what? Isaiah 5 and 20. And this is what it reads. It says, woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Right? So darkness is loved, and that is a sin. Okay? When you go, let me go to my handy dandy other Bible app so I can get the G&T real quick. The G&T of Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. Wisdom of Solomon, the 5th chapter. And I think I'm going to get just the last verse. It says, great windstorms will blow them away like straw. Lawlessness will be the ruin of the whole world. Evil actions cause governments to fall. Right? So with Esau, with his governments and his rulership, and his thrones of iniquity, legalizing sin and oppressing the righteous, is going to bring forth lawlessness, right? Which is already lawlessness in America, right? Especially when they push that LGB, that 1, 2, 3 community, evil actions will cause governments to fall. So while they're going up, since that 250 years is coming, they're going down right now. This is a good thing to see. Yes, you're like, yes, oh, this kingdom almost over, but what are you offering? Right? What are you laying yourself down? Why this kingdom dropping, you have to grow, you have to elevate, you have to change. You should not be the same person you was in the world. You should not be the same person you was 4 years ago when you came in the truth. You have to be elevating. Why this place going down, you have to be a better woman, a better wife, a better sister, a better brother, right? A better Akim in this thing, a better, even growing as being a teacher. Not, oh, I'm better than you, but a better teacher when it comes to delivery, with patience, right? The mind frame, right? Being occupied in the works of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? Women should be better in this thing, right? Better. Women should not be jealous over another sister, right? And of course, you might hear me speak about it, but I do it because I know that's the weakness of every woman, mostly every woman on this side. They can speak a good game. I'm with it. It's your honor, but let that man be gone, right? Let you see him smiling because of somebody else. It becomes a problem because you haven't mastered you. Why Esau falling? You have to find a way to master you. You can never master her, but you have to master you. While he's getting more wicked, you have to always get more closer to Yahweh Shem Yahushai in your role. Because right now, this thing is being revealed unto us, man. Is it being revealed to us because we're better than somebody? No. It's being revealed to you because the Lord is dealing with you, sis. The Lord dealing with you, brother. That's something to smile like, man, I don't even deserve it, but he really dealing with me, man. I got to give back. Right? This is Obadiah, only one chapter. Verse 10, it says, for thy violence against thy brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. Right? And Esau about to hit that mark of being becoming shame. But right now, wickedness have to grow in the earth. That's going back to Genesis 6. If you don't know what I'm talking about, go get it. Go read it. I think in the middle of the chapter or maybe in the beginning, right? The Lord allowed that wickedness to increase because then he established the ark to be made through Noah, okay? So because Esau's bloodshed and iniquity, Yahweh will utterly destroy his power. So now let's get this Habakkuk chapter 2 and verse 8. Because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee. Because of man's blood, for the violence of the land and the city and of all that dwell therein, the nations Esau exploited will rise against him in the end times. World War III, and the fall of Babylon the Great. Let me just get a quick fall away. Especially, let's just deal with his allies. Let me not get too greedy. Let me just get the allies of Babylon. They're going to get fed up. It's Revelations, the 17th chapter, in verse 16. It says, the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast. The 10 horns is the allies, a NATO in the European, which is the European Union, which thou sawest upon the beast. These shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh, and burn her with fire. This is not ancient Babylon. Ancient Babylon was taken by Doris, man. Right? This is speaking about future Babylon. Come on, man. So you want to have a desire for the nations to turn on Esau, right? The Chinese that's in America, you want them to wild out and turn. You want the Hamites, you want Ishmael. Let them all put, let me not say it because of YouTube, you know what they do. What they say, I'm Assalamu alaikum, and then they push that button. Let them go do what they got to do, man. Babylon the Great, man. This is about to become a reality, baby. What did Ric Flair used to say in wrestling? Woo! I didn't want to be too obnoxious, you know. But this is 2nd Ezra 6 and 9, the classic. It says, because Ezra was asking, when shall be the end? Right? So you could read from verse 7 and 9, but I'm just going straight to the point. It says, for Esau is the end of the world, and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. Ain't no in between, man. Esau's the end of the world. So the way that you see the world getting worse and worse and worse, that means his end is coming. Revelation 12 and 12. He know he has a short time. That's why he's doing all these maneuvers, right? Esau's blood-built kingdom is at its end. Jacob, the Israelites, will rule next in righteousness under Yahweh Shai, man. Come on. So Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12 is a clear prophetic warning. Right? Amos 3 and 6, right? Shall not a trumpet be blown in the, let me not butcher that. I said that was the last one, but you know, you get excited, you got to get it. Amos 3 and 6. It says, shall a trumpet be blown in the city, and the people not be afraid? Shall there be evil in the city, and Yahweh have not done it? This is the Lord's doing. The left, the right hand, right? But the trumpet is being blown in the city. I'm not the only one. There's so many brothers dropping videos after videos, camp after camp, right? Ain't y'all jumping? Ain't y'all? Oh snap, man! I gotta get ready. Instead of a bug out, get your faith in line. Get your spirit and get your spirit and your mental in line so that you could carry this thing out in the flesh, man. Be humble. Man, Yahweh Shema Shai, my flesh is weak. Please give me the strength to overcome, because I know it's going to be real. Please, Yahweh Shema Shai, give me the mindset to be able to deal with it. Don't let me to surrender to this way, because I don't want to be afflicted. You remember when your mom was going to whip your ass and you like, oh, I don't want, oh, let me put on 2 pants. But then she knew you had two pants on and you just cried. You took it. Guess what? I haven't got a whooping in so long, but I remember that whooping. So we got to get that whooping on this side by the Lord because of the shit we did. But we're going to, if you are of the elect, you're going to overcome it, man. But it's the beauty of seeing your enemies fall. Baruch 4 and 25, man. Got to get that one too. Sorry, y'all. I'm getting a little excited, man. Please, that's what happens, man. This is Baruch chapter 4, verse 25. My little children, suffer patiently the wrath that has come upon you from the Most High. For thy enemy have persecuted thee. But shortly thou shalt see his destruction and shalt tread upon his neck. Right? We got to be cheerful because the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, brought this upon us. The same one that brought it upon us is going to give us that peace and that rest. And we're going to tread upon our enemies. We're going to see them fall, man. Don't you want to see them fall? This cheerfully. What you're dealing with now, what's about to come, what's about to come, what's about to come. Right? Because if you can't deal on this side, how can you be ready in the kingdom? Well, oh, I want to be your wife forever. Right? If you can't even deal how a man's stature is on this side, and then you want to wait in the kingdom to accept him, right? I don't really think you in this. Right? We understand that's why men is different. Because a man got to really get a taste on this side of every detail, right? A man got a taste of his wife bumping up against him. He can't do this. Hey, babe, I gotta go here. You gotta tell his woman what he doing. If he like her, if he was interested, sis, babe, I like someone. Is it okay? You gotta do all this other extra stuff, and then he gotta go teach, and he gotta do this word, and then guess what? Hey, babe, you gotta go get with her. She can't naturally just be a home loving sister, right? She can't be in order, right? She can't be, you got to tell her to discipline the child, but, this is my favorite, all of this. She don't understand the mindset of being logical. She don't understand the precaution of the scriptures. You can't spare the rod for your son doing the littlest thing. You can't, if your daughter's showing forms of being a harlot, you can't just spare the rod. You got to pop it, tap it, bob it, right? But at the end of the day, a woman mindset is, babe, you're too harsh, or baby, this and this and that. Guess what? You better get in the you better get in the mind. Because when all these things fail to come to pass, you better hope you're on the right side. Because at any moment, what if the Lord find your way miles away from your home? Then all hell break loose. What if the Lord sips you away from your family? And then you're like, damn, why am I not? The Lord is persecuting me. Then you find out the answer. You're not of the elect. You should be working out these little nits that you have a problem with. I'm talking to you men, talking to you women, talking to you children. Because even in 2 Ezra 16, it says, in that day, shall be your accusers, man. Okay? It's going more than I explain it. It's going to be real for all of us. So if you're not building up your faith, your spirit, your mental, you're gonna crash out. What's the new word they say, them YNs? I'm gonna crash out. You're gonna crash out if you're not connected with the two things you need. Your spirit, the spirit of Yahweh Shema Shai, and that mental, so that you can physically act this thing out. Okay? So Esau's empire were founded and maintained through blood and sin. But every kingdom built on wickedness will fall. Rome fell, right? What he said. If a kingdom is divided against itself, it shall not stand. Soon Yahushua will return to tear down Esau's bloody city and establish the kingdom of heaven. Ruled by righteousness and justice, that means we're going to be under new management. But Yasharella under the authority of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, man. Right? Isaiah 14:21, prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers. So with Esau's father, their fathers on this side, fathers in Rome, guess what we're going to do to their children when this kingdom is established? Jeremiah 51:25, behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, saith Yahweh. Who's that destroying mountain? Going back to Isaiah, the 13th chapter. Lift up a banner, that sign, right, upon the high mountain. The high mountain is America, man. Revelations 13:10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. This is bigger than just one verse, right? Is you really in this? Is you really in this, man? Right? If you really in this, grow. A tree don't just stay at its one point. It grows, right? Your hair, it grows, right? You age, you grow, right? From a baby in the belly, then a little baby out, a toddler, then now it's becoming a child. Now it's becoming what we say kid, but it's a child now. Then in a minute, now it's becoming a mini teenager, right? It's growing. So you're supposed to be growing in this thing, man. Okay? So I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to the one true power that always make this possible. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Rakar, Quadash. Double honors to the elder apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who rule well and teach well through the Spirit. Mighty Shalom to the hopeful elect in the same Spirit. Lord willing, as a whole, y'all can continue in sound doctrine and in the same Spirit. Shalom to the Akwath, the sisters of this faith. Lord willing, you can continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife to the best of your ability. And Lord willing, Yahweh Shema Shai has mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. With that, Shalom, Shalom. Abba.